The Birth of Venus is an iconic piece of artwork done in the 15th century Renaissance era by Sandro Botticelli. The mystery behind her magnetism has always intrigued everyone that has seen her beauty since her creation. This painting reflects Botticelli's pagan period, where his artwork shows renderings of many different deities, going in a direction that was not so typical for the time, as people were used to seeing biblical iconography in most artwork. Botticelli's pagan values are reflected in this painting. Celebrating nature and community was natural for him, which in a way was refreshing to the time and still to this day as Venus's image continues to inspire. The famous artwork by Botticelli was an influential turn for the 15th century, as it was the first artwork depicting a nude woman that wasn't the typical story of Eve being shamed in the Bible. Botticelli studied under a goldsmith by the persuasion of his father while he studied painting. At this time, in 1485, it was often very common for artists to study under knowledgeable artisans, as gold was very valued by the kings. Painted in egg tempera on canvas, Botticelli and assistants created the paints he needed for the painting. The painting is created on canvas rather than wood being the more commonly used material at the time. The painting now hangs on the walls of the Uffizi Museum in Florence, Italy. This painting was commissioned by the famous Italian Medici family. The Birth of Venus hangs on the wall at almost 6 by 10 feet. The whole artwork hangs in a beautiful gold frame. Elegantly stands Venus in the center of the painting. Venus is shyly looking past the viewer as she surfs in on a shell. It is in this moment Botticelli captures her about to step on land for the first time. Venus stands before us, confronting us with her graceful pose. Venus gathers the bottom of her golden hair in front of herself, as her hair reflects the golden light beautifully. As Botticelli had used gold leafing he'd learned from his mentor in many areas of this artwork. We notice her left leg bearing all of her weight. Her right foot appears to just launch her forward, creating a graceful contrapposto stance. Venus covers areas of her body innocently with her hands, her flowing hair representing the nude woman as feminine grace and allure. The composition shows Zephyr and Chloris holding each other, flying through the air, with their legs entangled and their bodies draped with flowing blue fabric. Their fierce movement creates the wind, assisting Venus to shore. A large breath visible in his cheeks appears to create the wind in a swirling motion around each figure. Caught in the swirling wind, pink flowers lead Venus to the shoreline. To the right of Venus, we see a young woman believed to be the goddess of spring, coming over to her carrying a pink-colored drapery, attempting to cover Venus once she arrives. This painting shows us an amazing example of community, as each god and goddess plays a pivotal role in welcoming her arrival. Art was and still is used as a source of entertainment, storytelling, and in today's world, even fashion. Venus continues inspiring viewers since the Renaissance period to hundreds of years later, where she is still referenced. Written by an art historian in 1945, Ernst Gombrich said, "The history of Botticelli's fame has yet to be written. Millions of people come across her image, as many travel to see the artwork in person or come across it online. Venus's image is replicated from t-shirts to keychains and even earrings." In 2013, a dress was created by Dolce & Gabbana and worn by the talented singer Lady Gaga. She was holding an acoustic guitar in a tight floor-length gown, bracelets, black high-heel boots, and golden goggles. The dress's pattern was made up of sections of the famous painting, focusing mostly on Venus's famous gaze. Venus herself is an embodiment of love, beauty, romance, and femininity. Lady Gaga's music tells a story and empowers listeners, like Botticelli when he created The Birth of Venus. Venus and Lady Gaga are both instantly recognizable to the global public. The communities for artists, both musicians and visual art, are safe spaces for artists to express and create and explore their unique mediums, where in this setting, artists have the platform and ability to tell stories that relate to us personally. Many different people go into the process of the final product. From the people in the sound studios to the makers of the paints, they all play a role in the process of the artist. As viewers, we are lucky enough to experience the end result of their talents. In the Renaissance period, Botticelli would have had to create these colors from various pigments and materials. For my interpretation, the birth of Venus represents entering into a new chapter in life. The shell that had come as a protective gift from nature had kept her safe from the outside world, being the chaotic sea. Now she was ready to escape the old environment for a new one, where she moves towards accepting herself as the goddess of love, and in this action, changing her environment and creating a space where she is free to be herself and feel the love and the powers of nature and the gifts of support awaiting her. In a way, the sea is full of life, sure, but not for humans. Venus's safety was no longer possible, and that she had to come to land. Possibly her shy attitude is partly from not knowing how to respond to the caring, loving nature of the gods and goddesses around her. In a nutshell, or a seashell, the Birth of Venus painting not only celebrates women, it also honors community and nature. Botticelli's influences in his life flowed through him in the artwork he created and forever had a lasting impact on not only the art world, but the whole world. Venus has been a symbol of love and empowered women to embrace that in themselves as well. I believe that we can all relate to this story in one way or another, that in life it truly does take a community effort in order to create something beautiful.